What's going on today, guys? Welcome to the channel. Today I have a watch to show you guys that you've probably already heard of because it's been a very popular release since its release back in 2020, but I haven't shown you my opinion on it, and also I have some mods that I did to mine that you can easily do to yours, and I'll show you exactly how to get those parts. Before we get started, please consider hitting that subscribe button if you enjoy my videos. And if you comment that you subscribed, I'll do my best to reply to everyone's comment and thank you personally for subscribing. I really do appreciate the support, guys. This channel literally couldn't survive without you, so I really appreciate all the support, even if you're just watching my videos and not subscribing. But I do urge you to click that subscribe button, especially if you're a return viewer. So without any further ado, guys, let's go ahead, flip the camera, dive down, and get into the review. Alright guys, so the watch that I have today is the Seiko SRPE57, aka the DressKX, because obviously it's got a very similar style to the SKX, but this is bezel-less. So here you get a warranty card. Unfortunately, I bought this from Amazon and it is not dated or signed, so definitely kind of annoying, but what are you gonna do? I think this also comes on a NATO strap, and it comes in some different color options. So first off, if you get this on a NATO strap, it will have a brushed bezel on top, and then it's got polishing on the sides and then brushing on the bottom. So this one is done the opposite. There's polishing on the top, brushing on this little chamfered edge here, and then polishing on the bottom. Also, this comes in a bunch of different colors. There's a blue dial, there's a gray dial, there's a regular black dial. I can't think of all of them off the top of my head right now, but I could put up some pictures for you. So the dimensions on this, you have a 40mm case diameter. It's actually 38 on the bezel though, 40 on the actual case. You have 13.4mm thick, although I did put a sapphire crystal on here, a double domed sapphire crystal, which does make it 13.7. You have a 44.3mm lug to lug, so really compact, and that's classic Seiko design, which I really love. And then you have a 20mm lug width, and also drilled lugs, which is pretty awesome. Specs: this has a fully 316L stainless steel case, crown, bezel, case back, and bracelet. It has a flat hardlex crystal that it comes with no anti-reflective coating. It has just a regular push-pull crown, but it does have a screw-down case back, and you get 100 meters of water resistance with this. And you also get a 4R36 automatic movement with hacking and hand winding, and a 40-hour pout reserve. And did I mention drilled lugs? Yeah, those drilled lugs are pretty awesome. The price on this is $200, so right around $200. It might be a little bit more, or it might be a little bit less, depending on where you buy it from. I bought mine from Amazon, so I paid right around $200 for it. I'll leave a link down in the description for the Amazon listing, and you can make that decision yourself. And moving on to the dial, you have indices that are actually pushed in through the back, and then you have an applied frame around them in that nice gilt color. Looks really good. And they're all filled with Seiko's proprietary Lume Bright. The word Seiko is applied, but then you have the Seiko logo and the word automatic printed. And then down here you have Made in Japan, and you have some information on the movement printed there as well. The hands are that SKX style handset. The minute hand on this DressKX though is slimmer than the SKX. Both the hands are slimmer, but if you'll notice on the SKX it has a little bit of a taper on the minute hand. On this it does not. So I think this is a little bit of a cleaner look, and of course they're going for more of a dressy or field watch aesthetic, so they wanted to tone that down a little bit, which I think definitely works in favor of this watch. So we talked a little bit about the bezel earlier, but you can see it's a separate bezel. It is pressed on there, and you have the polishing on the top. You have a brushed surface right underneath, and then back down to polished, which I think is really nice. Breaks up that polishing on the bezel very nicely. And like I said, if you choose to get the NATO strap, it'll be the opposite. So the crown, like I said, is just a push-pull crown, and unfortunately classic Seiko, cheaper Seikos, they don't sign their crowns. I don't understand why. And this isn't exactly a cheap watch. I mean, $200, it's relatively inexpensive, but I wouldn't consider it to be cheap. So the fact that they can't even sign the crown is just, I don't like how Seiko does that. It's just really, really annoying. The fact that they don't sign their crowns and they give you cheap bracelets, it's just, and not, they don't give you sapphire crystal at this price. It's just ridiculous. But you know, it's Seiko. That's what you have to accept when you're buying a Seiko. These are original designs, so you're not getting a homage watch that's got all these crazy specs or anything like that. This is an original watch, so you're gonna have to there's gonna be some drawback from that. So the case shape and finishing, you have a very unique shape, which is very unique to Seiko. The SKX has a very similar shape, and so does the 5KX, and this is no different. So really nice, and it's very compact lug to lug. It wears extremely well. This watch is incredibly comfortable, and the finishing is really well done. Seiko is known for having great finishing. The polishing is fantastic. At this price, you're not gonna beat their polishing for the price that they're asking, considering this is an authentic original watch. This is not an homage of anything. This is an original design, original watch from Seiko. So the bracelet and clasp. Now let's bring this over here. So here's the bracelet that it comes on. And I have to say, considering the quality that you generally get from Seiko, this is actually not a terrible bracelet. The links appear to be solid. You do see a line right there in the middle. So I've heard that these are folded, but they do feel solid. So I'm not really sure who to believe on that one. But they're polished on the sides, brushed on the surface, and then you have hollow end links, which you can see right here. Hollow, and you have a pressed clasp with flip lock on it. So yeah, just very cheap, but like I said, it is a major step up from their older bracelets on their older Seiko 5s, and to be fair, it actually is really comfortable. Moving on to the case back. So you can see you have an exhibition style case back. You have some polishing on the outer part of it though, and it is a screw down case back. So pretty simple there. But next, let's talk about the movement inside of that case back. So the movement is the 4R36. It is 21,600 beats per hour, hacks and hand winds, has a 41-hour power reserve. It's reliable, workhorse movement, has a day-date function, but, and now this is going to be one of my biggest problems with this watch, they couldn't match date wheel. It's just unbelievable. Seiko is the company that's producing these movements. The fact that they can't even get that right. Some micro brands get that right, and some of them don't, but with micro brands, you can forgive them a little bit because they probably have a stock of ones with a white date wheel, and you know, it just doesn't make sense for them to order a bunch of black date wheels for one specific model. With Seiko, they have access to whatever date wheel color they want. So the fact that they can't color match this, and I understand that the indices are white, so it isn't totally mismatched, but it definitely would have looked 100 times better with a black date wheel and white writing, and that would have matched a lot better. So come on, Seiko, get it together, man. Like, I love this watch, but that is really unacceptable from Seiko. So this has Seiko's proprietary Lume Bright, and it's very good. Lume Bright is on par with BGW9, C3, any of those top dogs in the lume game. It's right up there with all of them. It's a fantastic lume. It's got plenty of layers applied as well, so this is going to be lasting for quite a long time. And yeah, there's really nothing bad to say about their lume. The lume is great. And finally, the wrist shot. And it just looks fantastic. Now, by the way, and I haven't mentioned this yet, this bracelet I bought from LongIslandWatch.com. Mark over at Long Island has this in stock, and it's just a fantastic bracelet. It's got a milled clasp, as you can see. It has solid end links, solid links with screw pins. Hopefully you can see that there. But yeah, it's just a really great bracelet, very comfortable, very well made, and it fits perfectly. It fits those lugs. Look at that. I mean, there's really no gap there at all, and it's absolutely a perfect fit. So I highly recommend this. This was $60 too. What I don't understand is why people buy the Uncle Seiko bracelet, and that's nothing against Uncle Seiko and whatever they're producing. It looks like a quality bracelet, but it has a press clasp and it has hollow end links, and they're charging $70 for it. This bracelet is actually cheaper at $60, and it has solid end links and a milled clasp. So yeah, there's really no comparison in my book. This or the strap code. This one just looked a little nicer to me than the strap code, but that's your call. The strap code, I'm sure, is really nice as well, and it's right around the same price. The crystal I bought off of crystaltimes.com. They have all kinds of Seiko parts that you can get for this watch and for any other Seiko, or mostly any other Seiko that you have. But great place to go. I think it was 35 or 40 bucks, something like that, for the crystal. And as long as you have the right tools, I have a video showing how to swap a sapphire crystal on the Casio Duro. It's essentially the same process on this, except you have a chapter ring in here, which I will say I screwed up a little bit, because I don't know if it's going to pick it up on camera here, but I did actually bend the chapter ring a little bit because I didn't have it seated properly when I went to go install the crystal, and I forced it in and ended up bending it a little bit. So don't make that mistake, guys. There are notches on the bezel. So if you choose to do it, there are notches on the chapter ring. So if you choose to do this mod, make sure the chapter ring is seated properly before you actually go ahead and push the crystal down. So but yeah, just really happy with this watch altogether. And if you make those couple of mods like I did, this really turns into a phenomenal watch. And the last thing I'd probably want to do, which I may or may not do, is get an NH36 with a black date wheel and do the swap. So this will be fully blacked out like it should, but we'll see. Still not sure if I'm gonna do that or not. As you can see, guys, solid end links and a milled clasp, and then you got screw pins, solid bracelet. It's just really great, nothing bad to say about this bracelet whatsoever. So pros and cons. I'm gonna start with the pros first. The fit and finish, I think, is a major pro. Excellent fit and finish. The movement is great, nothing bad to say about that. The design is fantastic. I love the design of this watch. The drilled lugs, of course, added convenience, and just the overall wearability of this watch is great. So those are my pros. Cons are obviously going to be the bracelet, the unsigned crown, and the crystal, that hard-lex crystal that comes on this. But as you can see, you can fix all of those problems pretty easily if you're willing to spend a little extra money. And you can even do the crown too, which I haven't done yet, but I may do at some point. Overall impressions, guys, I really love this watch. It's one of my favorite watches in my collection due to the fact that you can literally wear it right out of the box and you'll be happy, despite all the cons that I mentioned. But also the fact that it's such an easily moddable watch with a plethora of options for parts. And I really think they nailed the design of this watch. Seiko fans everywhere have been begging for a watch like this, with a nod to the SKX in terms of design, but with the functionality and look of a go anywhere, do anything type of watch. This watch really does do it all, and that's why I love it so much. So that's gonna wrap up the review today, guys. So remember to hit that like and subscribe button and hit the bell icon to be notified when I release a new video. But thank you so much for watching, guys, and remember to keep watching out.